Hey everyone, welcome to Assembly Hall and Inside Indiana Overtime. Alex McCarthy, John Bauernfeind with you here after watching Indiana lose to Purdue 67-63. It's their second loss, obviously, this year to Purdue. Got swept, which not quite ideal, especially considering the circumstances.
Least,
I mean, not only is it IU's biggest rival, but it's there are large implications here in terms of the Big Ten standings. Indiana could move into a tie for second place in the Big Ten with Purdue with a win, but weren't able to, obviously. Like it was in the first game, Purdue's size with A.J. Hammonds, with Isaac Haas, it was a little bit overpowering for Indiana. They just couldn't really handle that.
Yeah, Purdue's pretty much, in my opinion, the worst matchup possible for IU.
Terrible.
Not only are they bigger in every aspect, at every position, I should say, than IU is. That has been the problem for the Hoosiers, that has been a problem for the Hoosiers most of the year, I should say. But with two 7-footers, with the 7-footer in it at all points in the game, you have bigger Purdue wing defenders who just defend the three, and if they do get beat off the dribble, you're sending to a 7-footer. So it's really tough for Indiana. They lose tonight. Really tough loss for the Hoosiers. Even though it's still February in 2015, Indiana has already made Purdue fans' 2015 year. Good for them. Just a really tough loss. Assembly Hall was pretty deflated. Never really got anything going tonight.
Yeah. It got intense. I mean, at times it got really loud. I mean, Yogi Ferrell hit a three with a minute and a half left to give Indiana the lead, the first lead that it had in more than 18 minutes of game time. So that was kind of when people really got into it. But it was close all game basically.
Yeah.
No one ever really led by an enormous margin, and they kept kind of fighting back. But Indiana, the rebounding battle was the worst. I mean, they got out-rebounded 38-21 and allowed 40 points in the paint to Purdue. And there was a portion in the second half where it seemed like they were just trading buckets in the paint, where both teams were able to just kind of slide right through and score at will around the rim. And if Indiana's getting into a game where it's kind of where it has to perform on both ends in the paint, that's not usually a good sign for Indiana. They want to spread you out. They want to make you a little bit smaller. They want to kind of take the game to the perimeter. And if Indiana had hit a couple more threes, obviously, this game would have been totally different. But it's just weird for Indiana to go. And that's kind of the nature of building a team around outside shooting, is they go from hitting a Big Ten record 18 threes on Sunday in the same building to shooting 5 for 16 from outside. And it just never seemed like they were really just like knocking down shots, getting into an offensive rhythm.
And that's bound to happen. So 5 of 16 from 3 tonight. IU was 4 of 19 against Purdue in their first meeting. Like I said, I mean they're taller, lankier defenders. I think Octius is 6'4", and he's guarding Yogi, and then you have 6'5" to 6'7" guys on Blackman and Johnson, who are 6'2", 6'3". So it's just tough to get shots off or open shots. The points in the paint disparity, you figured that was going to happen. It happened the first game. So this drops IU to 8-6 in the Big Ten, going to Rutgers on Sunday. IU didn't need to have this one.
Yeah.
But you start to think, they're 18-9, 8-6 in the Big Ten. You'd imagine they're still going to make the tournament, but they very easily. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, it's just, this would have been a really big one for Indiana to get, especially going on the road for the next two games. And it's not like they're going to Ohio State and Wisconsin or something like that. They're going to Rutgers, they're going to Northwestern, two teams that they should beat regardless of the venue. But still, this would have been so helpful to be able to get Minnesota, Purdue, Rutgers, and Northwestern all in a row coming back home for the last two games of the season. Now they're kind of in a position where, like you said, it's not necessarily they don't have to win, this game or that game or whatever, but it would really help if they were to win, 3 of the last 4, or run the table. In terms of both getting into the tournament and tournament seeding, these next couple games are going to be pretty big.
And just another point to hit on about the game. So IU is leading the Big Ten, coming in the game was leading the Big Ten in 3-point field goals made and shooting. Purdue actually shot 2 more threes in them today. Purdue was 2 of 18 from 3.
Yeah.
You got to think, if they don't shoot those threes, this game is well out of hand. A.J. Hammonds had another great game. He
Yeah,
had like 20 points.
Yep, 20 points. He only had 4 rebounds, but he didn't really, he played great defense. He had 4 more blocks. He had 8 against IU earlier in the year, and it was just the defensive force that Purdue needed.
And I'm sure there's been other instances, but this game and these 2 games have really shown where IU's lack of size hurts it. I mean, when you have, Honder Mascara-Prey, who's, 6'9" on a good day, going up against 7 foot and 7'2", he's given up, how many ever inches that is, and then at least 20 pounds of Hammonds and probably, 400 something. It's a Haas. I don't know how much that dude weighs.
He's big.
It's like Andre the Giant Jr. But it just sometimes it just comes down to they're bigger than you.
Yeah, and like you said right at the beginning, it's just a terrible matchup for Indiana.
Yeah.
It is the worst. I mean, I guess Wisconsin is also bad, but this just
but
stifles
Wisconsin's guards, I guess, aren't as big.
Right.
So it's it's a really simple strategy. You check the 3-point shooters, and if you get beat off the dribble, then send them down to a 7-footer. So
pretty easy. So we'll see if Indiana can bounce back from this. They play Rutgers on Sunday. What time is that? 5:30?
Yeah, I think it's
like
late afternoon.
Yeah, something like that. We're not going to be in New Jersey, but we will be watching and keeping track and whatnot. So thanks for watching. Again, Indiana loses Purdue 67-63, and we'll talk to you soon.